I was abandoned by my parents when I was 8. Now, they're begging me come back home, but I'm done. I'm 20 now. I never thought I'd be telling this story, but finally I'm ready to share how my parents sent me away when I was just 8 years old. Looking back, I can see the signs were always there. They never really wanted me around. My parents had me young, barely into their 20s. I watched them struggle to build their lives while raising a kid they weren't ready for. Maybe that's why they always kept me at arm's length, though it took me years to understand that. Back then, I was just a little kid desperately trying to win their love. In public, they put on a good show, all smiles and affection when friends or family were around. But behind closed doors, that's where the truth lived. They'd warn me to keep quiet about how things really were, and I did. What else could I do? I was terrified of making them hate me more than they already seemed to. The constant emotional neglect took its toll. My grades started slipping, and I acted out at school a lot. Looking back, I was probably just trying to get their attention, even if it was negative. When teachers started complaining about my behavior, my parents tried everything to fix me: groundings, punishments, lectures. But I just doubled down on the bad behavior. At least when I was causing trouble, they had to acknowledge my existence. Everything changed around my 8th birthday when mom got pregnant. For the first time I could remember, they seemed genuinely happy. They announced it at my birthday party, of all places. I was confused at first, but it didn't take long to figure out what it meant for me. A couple weeks later, I walked in on mom packing my bags. My stomach dropped as I watched her methodically folding my clothes. What? What are you doing? My voice came out barely above a whisper. She didn't even look up. Your father needs to talk to you. I found him in the living room, face set in that stern expression I'd grown to dread. Sit down, son, he said, gesturing to the couch. We need to discuss something important. Why is mom packing my stuff? He cleared his throat. Your mother and I have decided it would be best if you went to live with your Aunt Sarah for a while. But why? My voice cracked. You're not doing well here, he said flatly. Your grades, your behavior, we want what's best for you. I'll do better. I promise. Please don't send me away. I was crying now, but his expression didn't change. The decision has already been made. You leave next week. I might have been young, but I wasn't stupid. They were getting rid of me to make room for their do-over kid. I threw every tantrum I could think of. I promised to be better, to get perfect grades, to never act up again. I begged them not to send me away from my home, my friends, everything I knew. Even though they'd never show me much love, they were still my parents. I remember one night, maybe a week before they sent me away, trying one last time to connect with my mom. Do you love me? I'd asked in a small voice as she tucked me in, one of the rare times she did. She'd paused, hand hovering over my blanket. Of course I do, she said, but her voice was distant, like she was reading from a script. Now go to sleep. She didn't kiss me goodnight. She never did, but none of it mattered. Their minds were made up. My aunt lived out of state on the family farm she'd inherited. She was my dad's oldest sister, never married, no kids of her own. Looking back, that's probably why she agreed to take me in. The memory of that car ride to her place is still vivid. Me in the back seat, crying and pleading, them in the front, determinately ignoring my tears. They stayed a few days to help me settle in, but even then, I was inconsolable. My aunt was the only bright spot. She's probably the kindest soul I've ever known. While my parents were there, she kept trying to reassure me that everything would be okay, that I'd learned to love the farm. After they left, she spent weeks trying to get them to call me, to help me adjust. They rarely picked up. Those first few weeks were rough. I basically just cried nonstop. But my aunt never lost patience with me. She was there through every breakdown, every tearful night, every moment of missing home. And slowly, something unexpected happened. I started to heal. Working on the farm gave me purpose. School became easier without the constant stress at home. I made friends, my grades improved, and teachers actually liked me. It was like I could finally breathe. The better my life got, the less I missed my parents. Even holiday visits became merely obligatory. I eventually told my aunt the truth about how my parents had treated me, how they never really wanted me. After that, her attitude toward them changed completely. She became cold, distant. We still saw them at family events, but those interactions were purely surface level. Fast forward 12 years. I'm in college now, studying business so I can take over the farm someday. It's close enough that I can come home on weekends. My sister, the replacement child, is 12 now. From what I hear through family, she's turned out to be quite the handful, with a bad attitude, trouble at school, the works. Karma's funny that way. Last weekend, my aunt called up to me while I was helping fix the tractor. "Someone's on the phone for you," she said, her expression troubled. "Who is it?" She hesitated. "Your parents." My hands froze on the wrench. After 12 years of radio silence, they wanted to talk. "Hello?" I said cautiously into the phone. "Son?" My father's voice sounded older, but still carried that same authoritative tone. "It's been a long time." "Yeah, that tends to happen when you send your kid away and never call." "Now, don't be like that." My mother chimed in. I hadn't realized I was on speakerphone. "We've been thinking maybe it's time for you to come home." Their reason? They wanted another shot at parenting. They wanted me to come back after college to prove they could raise good kids. The truth came out pretty quick. My sister was making them look bad, and they wanted to parade me around as evidence they weren't terrible parents. Never mind that they had nothing to do with how I turned out. Never mind that they'd abandoned me the moment something better came along. They actually expected me to help them save face. I shut that down immediately. I told them I wouldn't help them prove anything because they hadn't raised me. My aunt had. They tried arguing that they'd supported us by sending monthly checks, which barely covered anything, but I wasn't having it. When they started calling my sister a failure, I lost it completely. "You're not my parents anymore," I said, my voice steady despite the anger burning in my chest. "My aunt, she's my real family now. She's the one who was there when I cried myself to sleep for weeks after you left. She's the one who came to every school event, who taught me what love actually looks like." "Where were you?" "We sent money," my mother protested. "We supported you." "Money." I laughed bitterly. "You think throwing a few dollars our way makes you parents? You don't get to abandon your kid for 12 years and then claim them when it's convenient." "You ungrateful little dash," my father started. "I'm done." I cut him off. "Don't call here again." They could figure out their own PR problem. Since then, they've been blowing up my phone with guilt trips and manipulation attempts, but I'm done. My aunt backs me completely, telling me to ignore them. She knows the truth. Through family, we found out what triggered all this. At my sister's recent birthday party, she got caught smoking. When they tried to take the cigarette, she threw such a fit that my mom ended up in tears. Their family and friends finally called them out on their terrible parenting, pointing out how they'd spoiled her rotten and never set boundaries. Apparently, they've given her whatever she wanted since day one, including an insane amount of pocket money with zero supervision. The same parents who couldn't be bothered to show me basic affection have let their precious second chance run wild. Now that it's blown up in their faces, they want to use me as proof they're not complete failures at parenting. The irony is everyone knows my aunt raised me. People in the family have even told my parents they were wrong to send me away when I was struggling. But my parents just brushed it off, claiming I was happier with my aunt. They've never been able to think about anyone but themselves. What kills me is how easily they dismiss my sister as a failure while trying to claim credit for my success. She's 12. She needs guidance and counseling, not parents who'll throw her under the bus to save face. They sacrificed their relationship with me, supposedly for her sake, but they've managed to fail us both in completely opposite ways. I could hate my sister. She got everything I never did: their love, attention, time, money. But honestly, I just feel sorry for her. All that superficial stuff means nothing without real parenting. Our parents somehow managed to screw up both their kids in totally different ways. I'm grateful for my aunt. She showed me what real family looks like. She taught me that love isn't about money or appearances. It's about being there, about putting in the work, about choosing someone every single day. My parents never understood that, and now they're reaping what they've sown. They can keep trying to guilt me, but I'm done. I know who my real family is, and it's not the people who threw me away when something better came along. It's the woman who took in a broken little boy and helped him become someone he could be proud of. That's what real parenting looks like. That's what real love is. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. So please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.